Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video, I would love to show you 4 breakfasts that are healthy, that you can make for your family, and we enjoy these, so I'm excited to share them with you. Thank you for watching.
Come ye needy, come and welcome God's free bounty, glorify.
The first one I call a pumpkin hash. So I have all this pumpkin that is really ripe and I really need to use up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice it all up and roast it in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your oven. Okay, so once you have diced up your pumpkin and roasted it in the oven, I like to portion it out and put it into little containers or Ziploc bags into the freezer, so you can just pull out one little baggie when you need it for breakfast. Now I'm going to add some olive oil spray.
Mummy, what else I wrote?
Just give me 5 minutes, please. Sea salt. Cumin.
What is that?
Cumin. Whoops.
Common.
So I'm going to put these in the oven now. Uh-oh, Seema. To make this next breakfast, which is sprouted cacao pops, I'm going to soak a whole packet of buckwheat kernels. It's a 500 grams packet. Just going to tip it into this bowl. And fill it up with water. And I'm going to let that soak overnight, and then in the morning I'm going to rinse it. So the pumpkin is all cooked now, and I've divided it up into these little Ziploc bags to go into the freezer for other breakfasts, 3 other breakfasts, and then I put some in here for tomorrow's breakfast to go into the fridge, and then these 3 are going to go into the freezer for other breakfasts. Okay, so to make this pumpkin hash, what you'll need is, I like kale, you can use spinach as well, and I normally like red onion, but I realized I ran out of red onion. So I've just got some brown onion and some walnuts. I also put this sort of dairy-free cheese in it too. And I got my roast pumpkin. And I'm just going to fry this all up with the roast pumpkin and then stir through the cheese. And then after that I might sprinkle some of these pumpkin seeds or pepitas in as well. So that's it. That's done. That's the breakfast pumpkin hash. Of course, this also works really, really good with sweet potato. Roast sweet potato is really nice in this too, or roast white potato would be really nice too. So there you go. I will write down the recipe in the description box below. Okay, so once you have soaked your buckwheat overnight, what I do is I just put it in like one of these sieves and like give it a good rinse, and then I just sort of leave it sitting over a bowl like this so it can all drain off, and I will rinse it twice a day for about 3 days until the buckwheat just starts to sprout. And once it's sprouted, then you mix it with the cacao and honey or whatever sweetener you're using, and you bake it in the oven to make the crunchy cacao pops. So I'll just put a tea towel over it like that, and twice a day give it a rinse and just wait till it sprouts. It's been about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 days, I'm not quite sure, and see how the buckwheat has grown little sprouts and it started shooting. So what I'm going to do is make the chocolate syrup and coat them in this, and then you sort of slowly bake them in the oven to activate them. So okay, so in a pot I'm going to put in 1/3 of a cup of cacao. One-third of a cup of coconut oil. Next is 1/4 of a cup of honey. So what I'm going to do now is put that on the stove and just melt that all together. Wow, my buckwheat really sprouted because I left it maybe for a bit too long, and it's all, the sprouts are all stuck in the sieve. So that's the sprouted buckwheat in the bowl. Okay, now I'm going to add the chocolate to the buckwheat. It does smell really good, the chocolate does. I'm now going to add a pinch of salt. Okay, once I've done that, I'm going to put them on 2 baking trays lined with baking paper. Then put them in the oven for 1 to 2 hours. I have a very slow oven, so it'll probably take me 2 hours. And because you're actually like sort of dehydrating them at a really low temperature, which will activate the buckwheat. And I just stir them every 20 minutes so they don't burn. So here is the cacao pops. the roasted buckwheat. Now that it's come out, it sort of does go a bit crispy, but not as crunchy as you would imagine it. I think maybe I need to cook it for longer to get it crunchier. You could probably also use a dehydrator. But yeah, just put it in a bowl with some milk and it's really nice. So I'm going to let these cool down and put them in a jar and store them in the fridge. Okay, so the other breakfast recipe that I would love to show you is chocolate overnight oats. So first thing you'll need is, so in this jar I'm going to put 2 cups of oats. 2 cups of milk. I'm going to use this almond coconut milk. I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir. Next, I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of cacao powder and 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. Four tablespoons of chia seeds. Okay, and give it a really good stir. So all you need to do now is put the lid on your jar. There's a lid. Okay. So put the lid on your jar. Might give it a bit more of a shake with the lid on. All you need to do is put this in the fridge overnight. In the morning, all you need to do is just open it up and it will have absorbed all the liquid, and you can have it just on its own cold, or you can warm it up in the microwave or the stove. You can have it with some yogurt and granola, or you can just have it on its own. It's a really quick and easy and healthy breakfast to make. You just have to think of it the night before, I guess, and just spend a quick minute mixing it up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this breakfast. Yeah, I will link the recipe I used down below. And I would love to show you how to make a really simple and easy and healthy breakfast that you can just grab on the go. Yourself or your kids could just grab a whole bar of this and eat it as they head out the door with a banana or an apple, and it's quite filling and it is gluten and dairy free. The first thing you will need is a bowl, and I'm going to be setting the slice in this container. So in a bowl I will be putting about 3 cups of oats. 4 tablespoons of desiccated coconuts. 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 8 tablespoons of maple syrup. 1 cup of dates that have been soaking in boiling water for 15 minutes. half a cup of peanut butter. And then mix it all together. Okay, once that's all mixed up, put it into the container that I've got here. And squash it all down flat. So I can just put the lid on this now and set it, put it in the freezer or the fridge to set, and then you can cut it up into like bar slices. And it's gonna be good. Another breakfast that my family loves are smoothie bowls. Even when it's cold, my kids will still ask for smoothies or smoothie bowls. So I just noticed that I had lots of bananas that were getting quite ripe. So once I get some ripe bananas and ripe avocados, the kids love having green smoothies, which are usually frozen banana, frozen avocado, and milk and honey. That's probably what I put in the kids' ones, and also some spinach. And then the ones for Luke and I might put in some flax seeds sometimes and coconut oil, and just try to hide a few healthy fats in there too. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up these avocados that are really ripe and bananas and put them on a tray so they freeze like in a big clump, and then once they're frozen I'll then put them in a bag so then they're not all frozen in a big clump in the bag. So